Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Digital Skills Talks on Bridging the Digital Gender Gap, Empowering Women in Cybersecurity. The Digital Skills Talk series is a series of episodes organized within the context of the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, where we invite industry experts and thought leaders in the field of digital skills to join us for engaging discussions during breakfast, lunch, or afternoon tea. Today, I'm very happy to be joined by two experts in the field of cybersecurity and women in tech, where we will dive into effective strategies and initiatives aimed at supporting women in building successful careers in cybersecurity and closing the digital gender gap. So today we're joined by Despina Spanou, Head of Cabinet of European Commission Vice President Margaritis Schinas, and Anett Mádi-Nátor, President of Women4Cyber Foundation. Welcome. We are very happy that you have us here with us today. Thank you. It's notable to mention that Despina was one of the co-founders and first supporters of the Women4Cyber Foundation. And as Anett and Despina already know each other, we are sure to have an interesting and insightful exchange. Now, I will begin the talk by addressing my first question to Despina. So Despina, as part of the 2023 European Year of Skills, in April 2023, the European Commission launched the Cybersecurity Skills Academy to close the cybersecurity sector's ongoing skills shortage and develop the EU cyber resilience. Could you tell us more about this initiative and how it's going so far?
Good morning, everyone. Happy Women's Day. And thank you very much for organizing this very snappy and to the point digital skills talk. Truly appreciating these initiatives. We always feel very honored to be invited and to participate and to speak with other aficionados, dare I say, of cybersecurity. So the Cybersecurity Skills Academy is the outcome of many years of talk about the problem of finding the right skills workforce in cybersecurity. We have to deal with many issues when it comes to the cybersecurity skills workforce. First of all, we need to keep the guys who are already working on it. Men and women who are in the area of cybersecurity often suffer because it's a very demanding area. It's an area where we have to work under a lot of pressure. It's an area where we don't have enough people, so more work always comes to those who are already in it. And it's an area where reskilling is a constant need. So you can't just go into this area of work with the skills you have. You need to keep informing yourself and reskilling yourself. So challenge number one, keeping the workforce we already have, keeping them well, keeping them in place, keeping them reskilled, keeping them happy and motivated. The second problem we have is that we simply do not have enough people for the number of jobs that are available. Vacancies come up to the hundreds of thousands across the world. This is not simply a European problem. It is a worldwide problem. In Europe, we know that we have already reached the number of some 270,000 jobs that are missing. And we know that this will only grow exponentially in the coming years, in the short and medium term, because of the legislation we have adopted in the EU, which will require more and more operators to hire cybersecurity professionals, more and more public sector administration to hire more professionals, because they're also covered now by legislation such as the NIS, but they will also have to take care of the Cyber Resilience Act that has now been agreed at European level and that will come into force in a year's time. So we need more and more professionals. So that's another challenge we have that we're seeking to address with the Academy. And the third challenge, which is very relevant to today's talk, is that within this skills gap that we also have a diversity gap. And that diversity gap includes women. We have some 20% that has been reached in recent years, also thanks to efforts like Women4Cyber. But most women are still at the management level. We need more women across the board at the operational level of cybersecurity. And this should not come only from the information technology sector. they can come from many other sectors. We need more lawyers, we need more criminologists, we need more psychologists. Cybercrime is on the rise. We need people who understand law enforcement, economists, because the economics of the cyber field are becoming more and more important. We need people who understand geopolitics, because cyber warfare is part of every warfare across the world. So it is an area where women are already available. We just need to draw them into the area of cybersecurity, and we need to encourage young girls to break the silos of being considered as non-relevant for the STEM sector. We have very few women who enter the STEM sector at the education level and at the university level. So what is the Academy? The Academy is a one-stop shop platform for anyone who wants to join the forces of cybersecurity. The first thing we're doing with the Academy is to enable everyone that has an internet connection at home to have access to a pool of resources regarding cybersecurity, be that training, certification, opportunities for jobs, opportunities for funding. So we want to make available in one house, and this is why we called it the Academy. You can imagine a temple with many pillars, and in that house, we want to bring every single resource that is available. The other point that is very important when making these resources available, and that's the second pillar of our work, is the funding opportunities, because we know that there are many people with good ideas as to how to attract more talent to cybersecurity, or how to skill more talent in cybersecurity, that need funding. And we need to promote in Europe more small and medium-sized companies that are interested in developing cybersecurity work. So funding is very important. We also stimulate stakeholders to do something that is meaningful in the sense of measurable. And I will explain that with a very simple example. When I meet private stakeholders and companies, they tell me we have trained hundreds of thousands of people, but these people are not in the workforce. So we are trying to stimulate stakeholders through the pledges we have encouraged big companies to give, to measure the number of people that will be hired in the area of cybersecurity thanks to their certification needs, training needs, etc. And lastly, through these indicators, we hope that the Academy will be able to measure on a yearly basis how much we have addressed of this skills gap. So in this global effort of the Cybersecurity Academy, we hope that women will be a big outcome, a big deliverable, that we will see also in the indicators we will have more women that have entered the sector.
Thank you very much, Despina. Now, my second question is for Anett. So the Women4Cyber Foundation is a nonprofit organization aimed at promoting, encouraging, and supporting the participation of women in the field of cybersecurity. Among your many ongoing activities, you also promote tailored training programs for entry, upskilling, or reskilling in cybersecurity. Could you present your most relevant initiatives in the field?
Yes, of course, I'm very happy to do that. But first of all, thank you for the invite. It's my pleasure to participate in the Digital Skills Talk series. And I'm also very happy to be here together with Despina, who is really one of the very first supporters of Women4Cyber Initiative and Foundation in Europe. So it's really a great opportunity to a little bit like looking back to what happened in the past 5 years in this area. And also happy Women's Day for tomorrow, which is a great day for us. So we are looking forward to that as well. As you kindly mentioned, Women4Cyber Foundation is very much targeted, among other things, to skills building in Europe. We do it in a special way. We always try to build something from the bottom up to the top. So one of our first priorities, according to that, was actually building the community that can support this way of, or like bottom to top approach. We started it because we wanted to grab the attention of those women who, as Despina already mentioned, have access to the internet, but do not have those opportunities that could successfully integrate or easily integrate them to the European cybersecurity job market. or not in the most efficient way, let's say. So first, we really wanted to build a community, a functional community all across Europe. I believe we are successful in that because by now we have 28 national chapters live and functioning, and that actually covers geographical Europe. So it's not solely the European Union, let's say, but we have moved beyond that, and we even to move to other continents in the upcoming few years. And as it was mentioned, one of our key activity areas is actually skill building and training and mentorship and scholarship collaborations and related projects, because education and facilitating access to education is one of the key issues to tackle the skills gap and the capacity gap in Europe and also in other areas. If we move forward from this thought, when it is successful, it also facilitates the employment question that will also be discussed. If in this digital skills talk series, then that's fine. If in other ones, I am sure that it is an upcoming or recurring topic. So a lot of discussions are about that, but what we concentrated on in this respect is creating a link to the HR community, but probably I can give you a bit more details about this as we carry on. So coming back to the skills building itself and the training and education question, approximately 2 years ago, we formulated Women4Cyber Academy for promoting specific, usually smaller scale, shorter trainings for those young female experts who are either just after university and would like to gain some more special professional knowledge and experience, learning experience, and also to those who would like to somehow revamp their careers in cybersecurity or in a nearby area, let's say, or nearby sector. And it goes quite well. And it also resembles to what Despina mentioned about the European SME community. I mean, it's like a business angle to that. We are more than happy to invite European SMEs, training and education service providers to join Women4Cyber Academy. We usually work with SMEs in this format. We also have specific scholarship agreements and collaborations with various European training providers. One of them, probably a well-known one that I can mention, is the Solvay Institute. And they also provide full scholarships, half scholarships, and some other opportunities for those who are very much devoted and dedicated to the topic. So it is also one of the key issues that we do deliver on operational level. So we really try to grab the practical needs and to give those needs practical answers. We also have a collaboration with google.org. And for example, just to give you an insight into how large that collaboration is, we participate in delivering 1,000 trainings and certificates for 1,000 ladies, young ladies, who would like to gain more training in the technological part of cybersecurity. So we do try to grab those opportunities where we can deliver something in masses to a larger scale audience. And to carry on with that, we also started our mentorship program a couple of years ago, which is a specific one. It provides opportunities for those service providers, large European cybersecurity and defense service providers, who are seeking for young talent and new talent, and they provide us mentors. And we provide them mentees, and they go through a very thorough selection procedure. And it's a one-on-one mentorship program lasting usually for 5 or 6 months per mentee. So it's also a special one, but we are reaching up to 1,000 participants early this year. So we consider that as a mass success as well. And how we are carrying on with this, this year we are launching a new initiative, which is called Road to Cyber. We are doing it together with the European Cybersecurity Organization, and it aims to connect education and training and the job market in a way that it provides a holistic approach to skills development, also meeting it with the needs of career opportunities, vacancies. And it also provides significant advancement advising. And so we expect it to be a practical link to the European HR community, and also to the service providers or larger and mid-size cybersecurity service providers who are really looking for young talent in larger numbers than usual. So that's it in a nutshell. As I said, we are trying to establish and run a dynamic ecosystem and to provide job opportunities as effortlessly as possible.
Thank you very much, Anett, for sharing these interesting trainings and initiatives. My next question is for Despina. So Eurostat data shows that in 2022, 81.1% of men were employed as ICT specialists in the EU against 18.9% of women. What is the EU doing to encourage women to start a career in tech? You're muted, Despina.
Thank you.
Yes.
So first of all, we are carrying out all these statistics, which means we are following this topic. And I think that's already the first step. The acceptance that there is an issue and the acceptance that you should measure the issue. So by doing it ourselves, we hope that these indicators are then uptaken by member states, by the governments, so that they can take measures to address. So that's the first step. The first step is acknowledging that there is a problem and making sure that everybody shares that understanding and shares the need to address this issue. And believe me, that is not a given. It's not a given that the sector has accepted that there is a problem. The second element is advocacy. Anett mentioned that we started talking about Women4Cyber some 5 years ago, a bit over 5 years ago, when we met in a group where we were a true minority, an association of cybersecurity companies, where I participated on behalf of the Commission. Anett was a stakeholder, and where we looked around the table and we realized that there was an issue. And we created Women4Cyber, which has become now a European unique platform, actually, that exists in many countries. We have national Women4Cyber initiatives in Italy, in Greece, in France, you name it. So advocacy is important, where women get together and talk about how they can advance their careers in cybersecurity, how we can address problems in cybersecurity. So advocacy is the second step, talking about the problem and trying to attract more women. And then the third is the actual training and education of women so that they have the opportunities. Because, of course, when I'm asked by young women, what should we do to enter the sector, because it is dominated by male models of tech specialists, I told them you have to be relevant. You have to be able to compete with anyone who wants to be in this sector. So it is very, very important that women get training, get certification, so they get a validation of all this training that they do, and that they become relevant, they can compete in this market. So through the academy, we hope that these opportunities will be offered. I'm pleased to say that today the academy has 13 pledges from 13 big companies that have offered very specific opportunities for anyone who wants to join the workforce of cybersecurity, be that training, be that certification, be that internships, etc. So I invite those who are on the call, and we thank you all for being there. We see a very large number of women amongst you, and that shows the need for people to talk about the subject. So we are helping women through the academy to become relevant, to become trained, so that they can be part of this workforce. So I do not think that you need one solution or one action to support women in tech. You need to consider it across the board. It needs to be a horizontal consideration, like any diversity consideration, but we have to start from women. And this is what we're trying to do. So breaking the stereotypes, acknowledging there is a problem, helping women to become relevant through the academy's efforts and through advocacy, and hoping that in this way, more women will wish to enter the field. I do not believe that there is a prejudice against women in the area of cybersecurity. I have seen that when women are competent and make the bold move to go for a job in the area of cybersecurity, they get it. So it is also important for people to realize that this gap is not due to a prejudice that is out there if you come equipped with what it takes. It is simply a fact that is based on a misunderstanding that has been going on for decades, that women do not enter the STEM world or do not enter the information technology world. But this should not be relevant. You don't need to study information technology. Anett and myself, I think we are examples of that. We come from other fields, and you can enter cybersecurity simply because you wish, simply because you have a passion for it, and of course, because you get the relevant training.
Thank you very much, Despina. And linking to what Despina is saying, Anett, in your experience, what do you think are the major obstacles that prevent women from starting careers in tech?
Let me just pick up the last sentences of Despina, because this is very important what she said. I do not have a STEM background. And with this completely different background, I've been working in IT, more particularly in cybersecurity, for approximately 2 decades by now. So that is a doable thing. But coming back to the question, what was mentioned by Despina is the question of stereotypes. We do have stereotypes in cybersecurity in general, but I would somehow enlarge this circle to IT and technology in general. So it's not a cybersecurity sector-specific issue. It's much rather a general or societal issue that we have to tackle somehow. How we deal with is, by now we understand that it's not a one-action issue. You have to deal with that constantly, and you have to work on it on the long term, and then you can create a kind of change. And just to give you a little bit of statistics to illustrate that, I believe it was in 2019, and that was probably the event that we created for the same occasion as we are doing this now, for celebrating Women's Day, International Women's Day. And that was the one, Despina, where we did our first fireside chat together. And I remember that, I remember the audience, like, who were there, who participated in the event and who were curious about that. There were more than 100 women around, and like 2, 3, or maximum like 8 men participating, amongst the audience. So that was an experience. And by now, another example how the world changes and how impactful this long-term effort is. We had our annual conference in Madrid last autumn for Women4Cyber, and 26% of conference attendees were actually men. So I believe this is a huge change. It's an impact, what we could actually reach. It's not only the merit of Women4Cyber, but it's also the merit of other organizations, including the European Commission, and particularly the ones that were mentioned by Despina. Still, what we struggle with and what we have to focus on is the stereotypes related, let's say, unconscious bias. So exactly the first door that we have to go through. And that affects hiring and promotion of vacancies, job vacancies to women quite thoroughly. This is why we concentrate on creating a better link to the HR community in Europe. Because if we do that, if we make HR understand how to open vacancies and how to promote women to go for these job vacancies, then we actually assist the process to move forward. So that's one challenge point for us that we have been working on quite strongly. The second one I should mention is actually the limited representation and the limited number of available role models. Role models are also in the focus of Women4Cyber, so we constantly try to advertise the career paths and profiles of those women who take a strategic role or a significant operational or even a technical role in cybersecurity, and who can be role models for others who would like to enter the field. And Despina, probably you could mention the registry. That is also a perfect tool for promoting role models and promoting female representation in cybersecurity as well, especially here in Europe. That's a great tool for that. But it's not an education/training tool. Nevertheless, I wanted to mention that. And probably the third one is, it's actually a technical one. It's the educational pipeline issue. So what I mean is that if we want to provide trainings and education efficiently to young women who would like to enter the field or who would like to move on based on their studies, university studies, we have to create those special and tailor-made educational pipelines that actually help them or assist them to move forward in a more visible way, to gain those certifications that really help them to grab a quality job, or the one that or where they can feel that they deliver, and that gives them an extra boost on this path, which is not easy. So there are these are these three areas that we have to concentrate on, and where we usually not usually but really have to make an impact. And then probably the last figure that I also wanted to mention, that Women4Cyber is active for 5 years by now. And together with the other organizations working on this issue in Europe, we actually have achieved a 3% increase in female representation in cybersecurity. So I believe it's a real effort that has its real fruit, let's say. But if you count it up, we still have an additional bit less or a bit more than 25 years to achieve gender neutrality in cybersecurity.
Thank you so much, Anett. And thank you both, Anett and Despina, for joining us today and sharing both your insights and experience on cybersecurity and women in tech. I wish we could continue this discussion because it's a lot of interesting points have been made. As you both mentioned, International Women's Day is tomorrow, so I think this talk comes at a really interesting time. And I want to also thank all the participants for joining the third episode of the Digital Skills Talk series. And we invite you to explore the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, where we have a wide range of learning contents and trainings related to cybersecurity. I also want to mention once again the Cybersecurity Skills Academy, and which is on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, as well as from this month, I'm happy to share that the Women4Cyber network will be hosted on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, and the link will be shared in the chat by my colleagues. The next episode of the Digital Skills Talk series will be in April, and more details on the topic, the date, the speakers will be shared very soon. So make sure to stay tuned by following us on Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to the Digital Skills and Jobs Digest. Once again, thank you both of our speakers and to all the participants for joining, and we hope to see you all very soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Day to all.
Happy Women's Day.
Yeah, happy Women's Day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.